Shelter Mortgage, flexibility, professionalism, and service. Let us custom build a mortgage for you.
Hello, Prudential sales executives, for our video message of the week. As you can see here, we're upgrading our messages kind of in a short class. We'll still keep it to the 3 to 5 minutes to make sure that your attention span stays focused. All right, today we're going to talk about SMART goals. And the reason we're going to discuss that today is right now you should be working on your plan of attack for 2013. And one aspect of that plan is your goals. Now, we're going to cover SMART goals, and I'm going to go through all of them that make up the acronym SMART, but I really want to cover one main one today, and I'll show you that in just a second. So let's get started. First of all, SMART, S-M-A-R-T. That's what makes up SMART goals. Now, first one, specific. Real quickly, the more specific you are in creating your goals, the more apt you are to do them, and clearly, the more apt you are to understand what you're trying to accomplish. If you go generally on goals, it's not effective. That's why you got to really be tight. Couple other areas. Measurable. When you create any of your goals, you know, we talk about this all the time, they need to be measurable. You need to be able to count, did I accomplish this goal or not? Again, if it's not measurable, honestly, it's not worth doing because you don't really know have you been successful or not. Next, accountable. Any goals you create for yourself, you have to have that commitment that you're accountable to making that goal happen. Remember, we're creating our plan for 2013. We want it to be effective. We're not just creating a plan of attack to create a plan. We want to be successful in that plan. All right? So right now, specific, measurable, accountable. Okay, we want to hold ourselves accountable. So far, S.M.A.R.T. Now this next one, realistic. This is the one we're going to talk about in a bit. All right? So I'm going to hold off right there. Obviously, you know, you've heard before talking about making your goals realistic. Well, we're going to touch on that in just a second. And lastly, and certainly not least, is timely. Make sure, and this really ties into specific as well, not only specific in what you're doing, but how much time you have to do it. The more specific and the more key that you key in on timing, let you know, all right, I've got to get this done each week. I've got to get this done each day. You have to win the day, so you have to get it accomplished each day. Now, here's what I really wanted to cover today. So you've got the SMART goals, specific, measurable, accountable, okay, realistic, which I just took away, and timely. Here's what I want to replace realistic with, and that's relevant. And here's why. You know, the concept of realistic, to me, does a couple things. First of all, it is great when someone else is creating the goals for you. See, SMART in many ways was created for an employee, a staff type of relationship, because you have somebody else creating those commitments, those demands, okay, and they need to make them realistic so you'll hit them. But it's a little different because you're an independent contractor. You are not an employee, and you're creating these goals for yourself. So I want you to change this idea of realistic to relevant. All right? You know what? What's realistic for one person is not realistic for someone else. The other aspect of it is when we think realistic, I feel it caps us. Think big. You know, I'm not a big Trump fan, but I will say one of the quotes that I saw come across the computer one time, and it was from Trump, and he said, you know what? We have to think every day. We might as well think big. And I agree with that thought process. So what I want the goals to be for you is not only take into account the other aspects in SMART goals, but I want it to be relevant. What makes sense to you? Example. Let's say, you know what? You're on pace to make the money that you want to make, but what you want is more time or more opportunity or more learning, or you want to grow your business in a different direction. That's relevant to you. It doesn't always have to be one thing. You should have these characteristics within the goals, okay? But make sure you have the relevant aspect that ties into you. For someone, it may be specific, a money goal. For someone else, it could be something else. Have a great week, everybody. All right? Get that plan of attack completed because we're planning to have a superb 2013. See you next week. Bye-bye.